and you all know Lisa Torre, but I will give her a brief introduction in case somebody's, hasn't met her yet. You haven't seen her video today, which her slides video.
It was awesome.
That's right. Yeah, Lisa, if you want to do it live for us, we'll take a minute.
I'm good. I gave you what you wanted, and now that's it. That's done.
You didn't really cut loose, though. You didn't really let it all out,
Okay, listen. I have severe.
No, she's got moves.
And so the fact that I had to concentrate for that amount of time and remember that much, like, you're lucky that I got anything out. So someone's like, why aren't you smiling? I'm like, because I'm really concentrating.
Yeah, I mean, you were just like, going through the motions. You weren't, getting into it. I'll give you some pointers at Summit, all right?
Okay, yeah. You can't all have, like, perfect videos like you did, Greg.
That's right. All right. So Lisa is currently a diamond coach, right? But you are 1-star qualifying because she recently helped Joy get to diamonds, which Joy did over the contest, right? What do you call it? It starts with diamond push. And she'll probably be 2-star by the end of the year, right? At least.
At least.
Okay. And she's been a coach for what? A couple of years? 2-3 years?
Since 2012.
Okay. And she consistently hits SC10, definitely this year. She's really come on strong.
Up here, but hey, I got a baby.
Who's that?
We got a baby.
That was my mom. Sorry. They're recording. Bye.
Oh. So anyway, I will turn it over to Lisa. I mean, you've got a lot of great tips, and Lisa was saying, well, doesn't everybody on this call already know how to hit Success Club, and what are they going to learn from me? And but we all do it differently, right? I mean, she probably has a couple tips that she does that we don't do. I do things differently. We all know Leah does things differently, so we can all learn from each other, and that's the point in this call. So go ahead, Lisa.
I'm sorry, I was Googling at the baby down there, and a girl sees a baby, and you know what happens.
Right. We got a baby.
Yeah. I'm just looking, though. No more over here. So, yeah, I was telling Greg, I feel kind of silly talking to you guys, because you guys always hit Success Club, too, but he told me to tell you what I do, and so I'm going to kind of give you a little sneak peek into what I do every month. And like he said, this year, I've kind of had like an aha moment. We were on a call last night, and Brian was talking about aha moments, and I had mine in January of this year. And for those of you who don't know my backstory, I have been a coach since 2012, but I hit some bumps along the way where my coaching dropped off, and I kind of fell off the face of the earth because of the family tragedies. And it really wasn't until December of this year that I was like, all right, I'm going to do this again. I'm going to try. But in January, I was on a call where Robert Hudgens was talking, and he had said something that kind of like, you ever have one of those moments where like you get hit over the head and you're like, I'm an idiot. And like all of a sudden everything just kind of like clicks and you realize what you should be doing. He had asked the people on the call, he's like, okay, so how many of you, I'll ask you guys because it's probably the same thing. So how many of you every month your goal is SC5, and when you hit it, you start like coasting because you want to hit it next month, right? So how many of you after 5 just kind of like hold back because you want to save those points to the following month? How many of you do that? Right? So when he asked us that question, all of us raised our hand, and he was like, okay, so let me ask you this. What if you didn't hold back? What would happen to your business if you didn't hold back? If you pushed as hard as you do to hit those 5 for the entire 30 or 31 days of the month, what would happen to your business? And I was like, holy crap, like I would do some serious good business. And so at that point, it was in January, at that point I was like, all right, I'm going to push as hard as I can every day of every month. And so since that point, so December was the last time I hit Success Club 5. And after that, it's always been 10 and above. So for the last 6 months, I've hit over 10. And then for the last 4, it's been kind of like 12 and up. And so I kind of attribute that to that phone call where he was like, stop just stopping yourself at 5 and holding back. But when previously when we only hit 5, like there was really no perk to keep going, right? Because you had the same perks as you did at 10. But now we have that perk where you're not going to get those paid leads until you're at 10. So in my mind, I'm like, why am I going to stop at 5? I'm going to push for that 10, especially those of us who've hit 10 and we know how many leads we get now. It's kind of hard for you to step back and be like, yeah, I'm cool with 5. Like, no, I want those leads because you're getting 4 to 5 a month. So that was like the turning point for me. And at that point, I kind of had to figure out what I had to do in order to do that. And so I know for myself, I'm a creature of habit. So all of us know that consistency pays off, right? So I am very consistent in what I do day to day every month. So it's pretty obvious to people who are like new to my page. Like if they go on my personal Facebook page, everyone pretty much knows I'm a Beachbody coach. I think with the exception of yesterday, some girl posting about her It Works on my personal like post. I think she's the only person who never knew that I was a coach. Everybody else and their uncle can tell that I'm a coach, right? I don't hide it. I post consistently about my workouts, not as consistent about my Shakeology. Like I'll throw that in there every once in a while, but everybody knows that I'm working out every day. And unlike a lot of you guys who do really well in like your free groups, which I do run, I do the majority of my business off my personal page based mainly on my posts and how consistent I am. Like people know that I'm a product of the product, right? So I feel like that's where I put a lot of my focus, my time is my posts on my personal page. I don't hide what I do for a living. And that's just how I get my sales. Most people will come to me when they're ready. And I also realized after that phone call that I needed to expand my warm market, right? Because we all, like, especially when we sign up, we're like hitting the jackpot because it's like an open door. But I had to sit back and figure out what my niche was and who like my customer was. And I realized that obviously mothers relate to me. I'm very real. Those of you who are on my personal page, you know that I post very real. Like I don't hold back. I'm a smartass and I call what's happening out at my house constantly. Like everyone knows my business with myself, my kids. I don't hold that back. So moms relate to me well. And I'm also a Disney nerd, right? So I do really well with Disney folks, even though Greg makes fun of me for that. I do really well with Disney folks. So I focus on, or at that point, I really made a push to like join a bunch of groups, either based on moms or Disney or both. And when I joined these groups, I didn't go in there with the intention of like selling stuff to people. I went in there with the intention of making new friends on Facebook. And as I added them to my page, those were actually a lot of the people that ended up being like in the last 6 months who purchased challenge packs from me. If you've ever been to Disney World, they're not the healthiest folks. So when they hear about stuff like this, they jump on board. And that's kind of where I really hit my jackpot, is knowing that like that's my niche. And it's not fake. Like I can go into a Disney group and I can talk Disney because I'm a nerd. It's not like if I were to go into like a hunting group and try and like BS them, right? I talk honestly with people in there. And then I also did this thing where I created a Disney Fitness Friends group. So I went after my niche, but then I specialized it to fitness. So in one of these groups, you'd be surprised, like in Disney groups, there's a lot of drama. So there was like a break off, right? There was a breakup in there. And one of the girls that formed this new Disney group was friends with me. And so she went and blasted my page in her brand new Disney group. So all these people started coming in there. So I work that page kind of like I do my general fitness page. I just post kind of the same thing in both, but I focus the Disney stuff to the Disney people. But I've done well that way as well. So it's just another way of like kind of expanding my market, but really focusing on my niche without having to go into a Disney group and like being obnoxious in there. I run free groups consistently every month, just like everybody else does, but I'm not as successful as like Deirdre is. I run them. I am really cognizant of when the end date is. like I plan it around the end date. So I've got about 2 weeks before our premier group runs, so I can kind of shift those people into there. I haven't mastered, I'll be honest, I haven't mastered that yet. I haven't mastered the whole call to action and like transferring them over, but I'm working on it. And I think the thing that I really focus on in there is I ask people to bring their friends in, which they do. And then I friend them, and now they're on my personal page. And again, like I said before, I do the majority of my contacts like in my business through my personal page. So their eyes are now on me on my personal page, and that's how I form more of a relationship with them. But in my mind, I think of that free group as a way for me to like introduce myself to these people and show them what I have to offer in terms of support and motivation. But I really don't like focus all my time on them. After that whole like epiphany, I rethought how I worked invites. Because prior to that, when I went to invite people, I would sit at my computer and I'd look at the list and I'd be like, no, maybe, no. And like, I was prejudging people before I even gave them the opportunity to tell me yes or no. So I had to go back and like shift my mindset and just stop prejudging people and blast out invites to whoever, like to the point where I've hit my 300 or whatever it is that gives you, and then I'm cut off. And I'll tell you, I've been really surprised at the people who respond to the invites, people who previously I would have not sent the invite to, and giving them the opportunity to tell me yes or no. Like I've been surprised with the yeses that I've gotten. Follow-ups, we obviously know I do a ton of follow-ups. Like I'm old school about how I keep track of stuff. I have I use a pen and paper, right? So like, I will write down every bit of information on the person. I'll write down their name. I'll talk about the date that we talked, what we talked about. So I know exactly what, Betty was interested in 3 months ago. So if we're up for 21-day fix again, and Betty was thinking about 21-day fix 3 months ago, I'm going to send her an email. And I consistently follow up every month with people. And I think the thing that I've really kind of focused on is I don't ever stop learning or like seeking out information on this stuff. I do like a lot of research, if that's what you could call it, on Facebook. I pay attention to what works for other people. So like when you guys are posting about your success, like when the butt picture was posted on Engage, I was like, oh my God, like I pay attention to that stuff. I pay attention to the ads, like, so in the middle of the night when I'm feeding my baby, like, and I'm scrolling through my phone and I see an ad pop up, if it catches my attention, I do like a snapshot of it and I keep it, I send it to my computer and I keep it there so that when I go to do an ad later, I can kind of like pick, like if it was a picture that I liked or if it was like the wording of the ad that I liked, I'll go through and I'll just kind of like pick apart things so that I can form my ads that way. And I pay attention to the ones who have like 0 responses, and I pay attention to the ones who have like 100. I have found mentors, like people who are obviously successful in what they do, and I figure out like what they're successful in, and I just kind of watch what they do. I follow it, and I try to learn from them, and not like steal it or do what they do, but I try to focus more on like my verbiage, because my verbiage is different from most people. Like I said, I'm kind of sarcastic. And then I think the thing, I know David's on the call. I had done a group with David months ago. I think it was even last year. We did 7-day Shakeology, like shake and shares. And I was really successful in those. And so I just started doing that again with my coaches this month, and I plan on continuing it, not just even for me, but I want my coaches. I'm trying to get my coaches to be more active in getting Success Club points. And all of us know that it's really hard to get like a taste for Shakeology in just one packet, even 3. But if you go 7 days with someone, like they're going to start to feel like the effects of it. They're going to feel different, and it gives them more time to play with recipes. So this group has actually been really successful so far. Like they're starting to feel more energy. They haven't had as many cravings. So like the fact that we spread it out for the 7 days, like I said before, when I had done this, I had always gotten well over half of the people that I plugged into those groups to buy a challenge pack. And actually, I'd say half of them are coaches now under me. So I plan on doing that consistently monthly with my coaches, doing these 7 days shake and shares, because we all know it's hard for people to commit to that $130, especially not having tasted it, or maybe even tasted it just once, but like give them a week, get them hooked on it, and then it's easier for them to pull the trigger on it. So that's something that I'm going to start implementing. And another thing that I like sat back and had a moment with was, we're going to hit obstacles, right? Like everyone's going to hit obstacles. Greg knows that last month was like atrocious for me, and it knocked my ego back, because I was like cruising. I was doing great for a while there. But like last month, I really struggled. I had more no's last month probably than I ever have coaching, period. But it's still possible to like pick yourself up and still hit it. Even though I struggled that whole month, I still hit 13 at the end of the day. Granted, it was the end of the month that I pulled off those 13 points, but still I hit it because I didn't give up. So I think it's really important to note, like I know I've been getting a lot of notes from my coaches saying that they're struggling. It's summer, so people aren't necessarily wanting to be inside and working out. Just to keep reminding yourself that you're going to hit these obstacles, and we're going to have those up months where we're doing awesome, and then we're going to have those other months where we slump down. But if you just keep plugging along and being consistent, doing all those small little tasks every day, there will be payoff to it, right? It's just a matter of whether you're going to give up or whether you're going to keep pushing. And I'm Latin, I keep pushing. Like I'm stubborn, so I'm not stopping. And that's just kind of what I do in a nutshell. There's no like grand, I don't have magic. I wish I had pixie dust or something to make it happen. But like I told Greg, you guys, I'm always seeing the same faces, and most of them are you guys. And that's just kind of what I do on a monthly basis to hit it. I do whatever I have to do to get it.
So, Lisa, what did you do that last week? Because I know that you were at, like 8 or 9? Yeah.
9.
So what did you do to get to 13?
So I sent out, I did an e-card, and I know we talked about e-cards last night. Everyone's like, no, don't cards, but I still do the e-cards until I got your thing about letter, right? Which was another epiphany I had last night. But I did an e-card the week before, and I notated, or I went back in, and where you can manage the e-card, I noticed who had viewed it more than once. And I went and sent them personal messages, because again, you're only given like that text for the subject line where you can try to catch them. And when I'm doing an e-card, I'm like staring at it, trying to think of like the catchiest sentence I can come up with, and it never is good. Sent them personal letters, and I got 2, right? Yeah, I got 2 off of that by sending them those personal letters.
Oh, good.
So e-cards do work.
Yes.
But you follow up a little bit.
Only if you follow up.
Only if you follow up.
Yeah, that's a good tip. Looking at the e-card to see how many times they opened it, and then messaging the ones that opened it up multiple times. I've done that before. Yeah.
So I'm not.
It's kind of
I'm not
eye-opening to see how many people actually read it, right?
Yeah.
Only 50% of the people actually open it or get it, and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I kind of remember you can go back through all of them. So every time like a 21-day fix comes up, like there's the same girl that will open it up 4 times. I know she wants it, right? And I know I'm going to get her eventually. I just have to keep like her. And, I'm also not afraid to like dangle a carrot if I have to. So if I have to be like, I'll give you a $20 rebate on it, or, like a gift card or something, I have been known to throw those out. The commission isn't so much a huge deal for me. I don't mind taking a hit on my commission. I wanted that Success Club party. Like, I wanted it, right? Kim, like Brian, we wanted that Success Club party. So I was going to do what I had to do it. I didn't have to dangle that carrot, but like I would. I've done it before. I've given out little rewards. I call them Like I'll tell them it's my reward to you for you putting especially if it's a mom, I'll say something like, it's my reward to you for putting yourself first for once instead of everybody else.
Also,
and that kind of,
I'll just say a tip. I've heard somewhere that the average person like says no 7 times. Has anybody else heard this before they say yes? And I know that I do that all the time. It's like, yeah, I really want that car, but not now, and then eventually I'll say yes, And it was kind of funny because somebody sent me, it was this other software company for creating videos. They sent me an email this month that they're having a sale. And I saved the email and I'm like, yeah, that's a good price on that software that I want. But I didn't act on it and I just saved it, And then like a week later, they sent me the same email again, like the sale's still going on, And then I was like, yeah, I'm going to do it. So, I mean, hitting people up multiple times, that definitely works. So,
yeah. Well, in May, so I had 20 points, and not every single one of those people had told me no previously. There was never like one that had just been like, yeah, I'm going to buy it right now. Every single one of those had been a no previously. So that's what I was, I've been telling my coaches since then. Like, I know it's like a punch in your gut when you hear no, 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 but like they're going to come back. When we say it 1,000 times, it's just a not right now. And like, that's 10 people that were a no, like multiple times for me. And finally they came back. They're like, I'm ready. It just has to be the right time.
Hey, Lisa, got a question about how you use these other groups like the Disney group to friend people.
Mm-hmm.
So do you send friend requests after just commenting on some posts, or do you actually get into private messages with people first and then send friend requests? Because I'm in a couple groups, like that, and it just seems, really awkward to just go out and friend people. You don't want to just blindly friend people. So how do you get to the point where you add them as friends?
Well, there have been some cases where like I try to post in there often. Like if I'm going on a trip soon, I'm posting in there all the time because I'm trying to get tips and stuff. And there have been times where like it'll be the same people posting over and over again, and we're kind of like in a dialogue.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's not as awkward for me to like friend them because they're like, oh yeah, it's her. Like they know who I am.
Yeah.
But in Disney groups, the thing about us is we know that most people think that we're really weird, right? So there will be like on a page, not all the time, like I keep an eye out for it. It'll be like, I need some, someone has been like made fun of by one of their friends or something. And it'll be like, I need some Disney friends in my life. Like who wants to friend me on Facebook? Now I will add my name to that list. So will 15 other coaches, right? Because they're all on there. But it all boils down to like how kind of sleazy you are, I think. Some of these coaches I see go in there. I saw one girl go in one of the pages. She put a picture of herself with like a coffee mug. She's like, let's sit down and have coffee. And I was like, oh man, come on. It was just really, and she was trying to like add people that way. And someone had like 2 weeks later had made a comment to me like, you're a Beachbody coach like that girl, right? Like I said that, I liked her thing, and then she started just spewing Beachbody stuff at me. So like I never go in talking Beachbody in those groups. I never like send a private message to someone and be like, hey, what's your fitness like? Like I just literally go in and talk about Disney or whatever the group is, mom stuff. I also belong to groups about my son has various disabilities. So I'm in groups about that. And like I bond with these women legitimately over that stuff. Like I'm not looking at them with a dollar sign. I'm forming relationships, getting them on my page. I don't ever send a message to somebody that's just like cold call, really, like never. But like if you're in a group chat and like, on a post or whatever, and you're like constantly having back and forth, I don't think that's, you can tell when it feels right and when it feels awkward.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that. Yeah.
But like us Disney folks, we're a little different because like we need more Disney people to understand us. Nobody else does. So those posts will go out like once or twice a month, like, hey, I'm looking for some Disney friends. And then that's how I I have a coach that I met that way. A coach under me who I met that way.
Jeffrey Armbruster is a huge Disney nerd too, so you should.
I saw that.
Yeah.
And I think Julie Voorhees is too.
Yes. Uh-huh.
There are a bunch of us out there.
Yeah. Just strange.
Yeah, well.
Weird place.
I can put my ears on.
Oh my goodness.
You just need some pixie dust, Greg.
Yeah, I'm a Walking Dead fan, but I would not go to the convention or anything. I wouldn't dress up. I'm not that bad. Brian would for sure, but not me.
So we watched that show religiously, and last time we were at Disney, we're walking through, I'm like, what if like the apocalypse broke out right now? Like we'd be screwed. Look at all these. Like in my mind, I was like plotting like what I would have to do to survive in Disney World.
Right.
The zombies broke out. Yeah.
All right. Any other questions? No?
Amber has her ears on. I see them, Amber.
I missed it. Sorry.
No, look down. Amber. Amber Lamb has her.
Oh, okay. Hey, Amber. I was looking at Amber Wood.
No, bring them to Summit, girl. Bring them to Summit.
There you go. Cool. Well, thank you very much, Lisa.
Hold on.
What?
Oh, sorry. I have a question. I guess, I don't know. I think it just comes with being more consistent, and I'm not doing any free groups right now because I just don't have the time to do it. I mean, I've got a lot going on, so I'm just trying to do what I can. And I think like today, what I was struggling with is how to form an event invite, and like it just doesn't seem really natural to do it anymore the way that it did, I guess, when I was in it, when I was first like that. Because a lot of people that are my friends that I've sent these invites to before and stuff, like they've already seen all this stuff, like, hey, I'm doing a 21-day fixed group, and, I'll add them to it and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know. I was doing follow-ups today of people who were interested before, and so I sent some of those out, and then I I don't know, I'm just kind of struggling with actually inviting or, how to really do it. I didn't know if I should put something on my page saying, hey, doing a 21-day fixed group, if you're all, I don't know.
Well,
I don't know what to do right now, I guess.
I think you really have, and this is how I thought was going to play out when I had Anna.
Mm-hmm.
When you just have a baby, you are like, so your body's going to transform, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it just went through something crazy. So I knew that like me getting back to my body would benefit my business. And that's kind of where you're at. Like people are going to watch what you're doing at this point. And so you could almost play it off like, all right, I just had this baby and I have to get this weight off, right? You can just be like really honest about it. Like I was like, dude, I put on 51 pounds and like, I need to get it off now. And that's, I was really honest about what was happening. And I was like, who wants to join me with this? And that's how you can play it. Like you could say something like that you need help with your own accountability. And, this is your journey. Like really like the door is wide open for you to kind of use that to your benefit. And people are going to watch that transformation and they're going to want that. And then all of us who are like getting pregnant or are pregnant right now are watching you so that, because they're like, I know that I'm going to have to take this off too. Mm-hmm. And that's what happened, like as people started watching my body come back, they were, and they were having babies or they had babies at the same time. Because there's a bunch of my friends who had babies at the same time as me. They were watching. And as I started taking the weight off, they, would start reaching out and be like, all right, I tried it on my own. I can't do it. So like, you really have like a really big opportunity in your hands because your transformation is going to be really obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if you can't work out now, maybe a 10-day clean eating group would be
I was thinking about doing that.
A good play for you to do,
Yeah.
And we already have the scripts written and they're all in our Google Drive. So,
Okay.
And it's free, so you get a lot of people interested. And then after the 10 days, it might be a lot easier to convert them to size or to 21 day or whatever.
Do you have a lot of new mom friends right now?
I do. I have some that, that have babies that are a little bit older than me, and then I have some that are still pregnant, and then some that have just had them just like me. So, I mean, there's some of them that can't work out like I am right now, but I've got 2 more weeks and then I can. Right. And, but I didn't know if I should do something, geared towards like pregnant moms, even though I've kind of already finished that, but I know how to eat healthily while pregnant. And then, I guess with the new mom, thing and stuff. So.
I think, right after I had Anna, I did it was strictly brand new moms. It was like a free group. And it was really us just supporting each other, and not even just fitness wise and food wise, but like emotionally. I mean, what's happening with you right now, right? So you're like really forming a tight knit bond with these people. So I would don't even focus on the whole, like challenge pack or something. I mean, it'd be great if you could get one out, but I would focus more on like showing them what you have to offer them in terms of support, and clean eating would be a great way to do it. Mm-hmm. But really just focus on your relationship with them. And then that's just going to grow, and they're going to want to continue with you after that.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I could, with that, I just wanted to finish real quick, but maybe with that I could just do, maybe not even necessarily, or maybe would you do like an exclusive like new moms group and do it that way, and it doesn't have to, and it can be a group where, I kind of just have them all in there and kind of show them what I have to offer, with clean eating and exercise and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, that's how I would do it. Okay. Because right now that's your niche, right? Like that's your specialty right now, like new mom stuff that's happening that only like Greg can't really be in that group and understand what's happening, right? Like he doesn't get what's happening to your body, but they're gonna, you can have an honest conversation in there where they could be like, my hips are like really achy, like what's that all about? Or, talking about their upper body region stuff happening, there's just
TMI.
There's just stuff in there that like you can have honest conversations with, and think of it more as like a bonding session, because they're going to feel really comfortable with you. And when people feel really comfortable and like they feel like you're a safe person to go to, that's who they're going to go to. And yeah, I would focus it more on just being like a clean eating free group. And then, you can offer some like gentle exercises. Mm-hmm. You could even offer like level 1, 2, and 3,
Okay.
You can offer them suggestions that way.
Okay. Thanks, Lisa.
Sure.
I would add to that too, because nursing moms eat a lot differently than non-nursing moms. So that's a huge thing that you have to include. And not a lot of people know that, or they have this idea that maybe they're supposed to be only having like 250 calories extra or something, whereas it should be like 500 extra calories a day. Like that's a huge meal. Right. And then if you don't eat a certain way, that can mess with your whole supply. And then your baby's mad, and then you're up all night, and then all this and that are things you can focus on that would help you to produce more also. So that was just something I was thinking about when you're talking about it with clean eating, but they got to make sure that they're eating enough too, because there was a long time in there where I didn't lose any weight and I was nursing like crazy, and it was really frustrating. And for a new mom too, it's really frustrating.
Okay.
So yeah.
Thanks.
Sure.
Hey Lisa, when you did your e-cards, how did you search? I mean, did you like send it to only females, or did you just send it to your entire customer database when you did the e-card for 21 Day Fix?
Everybody.
Okay.
Absolutely everybody. Like I said, I am like not, unless it was like something like Laura was just talking about where I'm specifically targeting like women who just had a baby. Like I am not prejudging any invitations anymore. I'm just sending it out. Actually, I've got one guy on there who's looked at it 3 times, right? So like, now it could even be a gift for his wife, like you never know. Yeah. So I blast them out to everybody.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Sure.
All right, guys, let's get busy.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for all the tips, Lisa.
Sure.
Let's wrap it up here. And anybody else? No? Okay. Well, thanks for everyone for attending, and we'll see you next week or whenever. Summit.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thanks.